What's going on, guys? It's time to take a look at a new Build Divers kit. This is the HG Build Diver Gundam Try Age Magnum. So it's very cool looking. It's a little bit more bulky looking than a lot of the Gundams we've seen out of the series so far. So I'm excited to take a look at an HG Gundam that's got a little bit more bulk to it. It's also got some pretty cool effect parts to it as well, which look pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one's going to go. I really quite enjoyed the Age 2 Magnum, which came out quite a while back now, it seems like. So this is, I guess, sort of an upgraded version of that, possibly. Anyway, I'm still not watching the series, even though I know every time I say that, you guys always tell me, you should watch the series, it's not that bad. I know, I just don't have the time. Sorry. But let's go ahead and take a look here at this guy. The front of the box are there. The Gundam's looking pretty cool. I mean, it's just kind of flying through space there. You get a good sense of what the Gundam is going to look like, I guess. Now on the side of the box, you can see this is number 27 in the line. On the bottom of the box here is where we're going to get a look at some different action poses, showing off the Try Dod's rifle, the Try Bird, which I guess is some sort of like little kind of drone thing. It says both shoulders can be removed and displayed, so I guess those are sort of drones or something, I guess, or throwing weapons. Or maybe funnel type weapons, I guess, anyway. So, and we can see some action poses there with the giant Try holder frame too, which is that massive beam sword that it has, and it's got that beam cape out the back as well, that effect part. And then here a little highlight of a unit that gains power from cards. So it's got a little card holding hand in there, I guess, too. So that could be fun, you know, painting that up in something different. If you like did some custom painting to make it look like a Pokemon card or something like that, could be kind of fun. And then around here on the top of the box, just a front and back view of what the Gundam is going to look like, all built and painted up. Looks pretty cool. You got a little explanation there about the Gundam and the introduction of the story, and that's it. Let's open it up. In here we've got 6 bags of runners and our instruction manual. On the top of the instruction manual, just the box art once again. And then down here, some information about the Gundam, the pilot, and Kyoya and Hiroto. Down there, I don't know, so just more information about that, about the story. Nice illustration there of the Gundam. Around here on the back, customized plan, you got about the Tri-holder frame. Again, all the information here in Japanese and in English about the different weapons and stuff, the leg unit, the Tri-arm sword, the Dod's cannon. Oh yeah, so Tri-bird Tri-funnel says remote controlled equipment attached to the shoulders. The Tri-bird function as small fighter units, and the wings can be separated to function as Tri-funnels. So yeah, little kind of funnel things that fly off on their own. That's pretty cool. And the Dod's Try Dod's rifle. So you gotta try everything on here, of course. And the color guide down there on the bottom, that's also in Japanese and in English, so pretty cool. I'm not going to use about half of them. SB9 for our clear pink beam saber effect parts. Again, these are the ones from, I think, the Age kits and 00 maybe as well. And then our BA0 base here in just plain clear. Then our A here is from the HG Gundam Age 1 dating back to 2011. So you got 4 colors here, some really nice orange across the bottom, which unfortunately we're not using. I do love those orange feet. And then the yellow up there, and then some dark purple over here, and then some white there. Runner B1 here, however, is an entirely new kit, specifically for this kit, the Try Age Magnum. It's all in that dark purple color. We also have Runner B2, which is a copy of most of the Runner here. Runner C here, just in a standard gray, is going back to the Age 1 normal, and it's just all of our joint parts, and you have some weapons parts and hand parts and things like that on here as well. And runners D1 and D2 are connected here. These are all of our clear effect parts. Again, all new parts specifically for this kit, so those are looking really nice. Then runner D3 is taken from this section here, but these are some more parts in purple. Runner E1 here is some more new parts in that standard gray color, as well as runner E2, which is a copy of this section up here. And finally, runner F1 is some more new parts in white, and then we have runner F2 as well for a copy of this portion of the runner here. So that's everything. As you can see, there's a fair amount of parts in there, and we saw in the manual there's going to be a lot of parts left over. Of those, we'll see how much really can be useful for maybe doing some customizing or something just with the parts we have here in the box. But until then, let me go ahead and just get it built up, and then we'll see how it looks. So here it is all together, guys, and it is pretty cool. Putting this kit together was relatively basic. If you guys have built any HG Age kits, and it feels pretty familiar to, you know, the general construction of your standard HG Age kit. Obviously, there's plenty of new parts with this version itself here. So I'll start by just pointing out once again where the stickers are on the top of the head there, that camera sticker on the eyes, that sticker there, sticker here on the front of the chest. There's another sticker on the back of the head as well too for that camera also. On the backpack here too, those yellow bits inside of there, those are sticker decals. On the side skirts here, those are stickers as well fitting around there. On these front vents up inside the front of the leg there, those are stickers. So it's a shame that they didn't have some more yellow parts for this, just yellow parts, yellow parts, yellow parts to fit into these bits so that you don't have stickers for those. Also here on the back skirt as well, those are big yellow stickers that fit around there. On the front skirt, those are actual yellow pieces. On the back, those are yellow stickers to cover that, and then on the front skirt also the little bit of yellow there, that's a sticker as well too. So I wish this kit would have had a few more yellow parts included to make up for all those yellow stickers that you end up having to use. But as for the articulation, it's going to be pretty basic again to any HG Age kits that you might have seen before. So the head will go up to there pretty good and down all the way to there, so pretty nice articulation there for the head. The shoulder will rotate forward there pretty nicely, so you get a pretty good forward bend for that. This part here I feel like is going to be falling off a little bit too easily, which is just plugged onto the side of the shoulder there to make that a little bit larger, and then this will just rotate there, this whole section. That's meant to come off and be its own kind of thing, right, that we saw, so we'll see more about that in a little bit. Then each of these parts then will also rotate, and then the actual clear part, blade part there, will also move in and out a little bit like that, so those move all around. As for upward movement of the arm, though, it's going to be there to about 90 degrees perpendicular to the body, but I feel like if we remove this part, you can probably get the arm up a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more so like that if you don't have that part blocking your way. Then the arm will be pretty standard to adjust rotation there at the top, double joint here in the elbow to give you a pretty full bend there, not completely 180 degrees, but pretty good. And then the wrist is just on a ball joint, but as some people pointed out during the live stream, and as you'll notice pretty quickly with this kit, is that the wrist is pretty loose. The fit there is that polycap socket there for this, and it's just not really closed off really well, so as you're moving the wrist around, you'll find that it comes out very easily. So this is probably another good chance for us to try out the gun primer joint guard here. Let me stick a couple of strips of this here on our ball joint on the wrist and see if that helps with keeping this in place. I don't know, in this case it doesn't really seem to be helping, just because that polycap socket in there is not fully enclosed. You can see it only covers like 3 sides, and the 4th side is just that little kind of plastic piece that you can see in there. And so it's kind of actually just the plastic piece there is just kind of tearing this sticker. So probably what you're going to want to do for this is you can't really rely on something like this. You're going to want to just put some glue or paint or something on this to just thicken the ball joint a little bit. It'll probably help it stay in place a little bit better than this particular solution will. But alright, getting back to the articulation, then the torso does have a little bit of forward and back movement here. You have a little bit of movement there in the center of the torso, of course some rotation here as well. The front skirts are joined, but you can clip those apart to separate them if you so choose. The side skirts are also on ball joints, so you can move those around. I don't really particularly care for this massive gap. It seems like a very large gap there between the body and these side skirts, how they're stuck on there. So I feel like that should have been a little bit shorter, and what you could probably do to solve that solution is just take this off and just file this down a little bit to make this like peg hole they're shorter, so then when you plug this onto here, then it will be a little bit closer into the body. It will be an easy way to fix that. Around here on the back skirts do also move up and down. Nothing moves on the backpack except for this big massive part here, which is going to be used basically for the weapon, but that just rotates around. You got a couple points of articulation there with that, but we'll see that more once we get this thing with the weapons and gimmicks and stuff. This little flap there in the center also folds down for holding the beam rifle on the back skirt. Also, for our hip joint up in there, that will swing back and forth and also rotate a little bit there, and then you've got some rotation at the top of the leg too, of course. Outward, you're able to get the legs spread pretty far, and you can just move this side skirt a little bit to the back and kind of out of the way to get the legs really far out to the side there like that, so that's good. And then up to the front, this massive knee armor here is going to be clashing with the front skirts, so I think once you get the knee bent so that's out of the way, then you can get the leg up a little bit higher, but still not up that high just because of how thick the thigh is as well too there. So the thickness and massiveness of these legs is going to stop you from bringing the leg up too high, but you got a really good knee bend there, as you can see. This part here on the back of the leg will also move up and down. This part on the front will also move up and down a little bit here. And then you've got kind of a double joint here in the ankle, so you're able to move that around quite a bit. Up and down, you can point it all the way down like that. And you've also got some side-to-side rock there as well. This is another sticker here I almost forgot about, that dark blue kind of sticker that wraps around the top of the foot. That part is just gray, but you have this blue sticker to cover that up. And then up underneath the feet, you've got some detail, but then also some hollow gaps in there as well. And then just one more thing, for plugging this on an action base, a lot of the Age kits had this where you have an actual cap covering your action base connection point, so you just remove that, you can put that up on action base there. So getting into the accessories then, for our hands, aside from the 2 open hands we have on the kit, we've got the card holding hand, which is pretty cool. The foil stickers on there make the card look pretty nice, so those cover that pretty well, pretty convincing. And then the open hand for the left hand side, so you got some pretty interesting option hands there, not too bad. We've got the long beam rifle with the camera sticker for this one there as well. This one also has a secondary handle which folds down, which is very close to the main handle, so it seems a bit odd, but I believe like with other age kits, you can also rotate this part around. You remove the barrel and then just turn that 90 degrees, then you can connect that back on there like that, and then you could use the secondary handle like on the side like that if you wanted to. I believe that is also going to be where the clip on the back skirt is going to plug into for storing this on the back skirt. No, actually I take that back. That other little hole up in there is that's going to plug up onto the back skirt there like that to hold onto the back skirt. And then you do have a few leftover parts, and among your leftover parts is the original beam rifle barrel, which is the shorter version. So you could use this as an option part if you wanted to have a shorter barrel beam rifle, or if you wanted to give this to a different kid or something like that and didn't like the really long one, you have this shorter one there as well that you could use if you wanted to. And real quick, one other leftover part I'll mention to you guys is this one here for the head. So it's the original V fin, and it doesn't have the kind of extra little bit of detail on it, and it doesn't have this kind of extra fin out to the back there on the top. So if you wanted a little bit more simpler kind of V fin piece, you have this as just one of your extra leftover parts. Then we've got our beam saber effect parts. As we saw before, there's two long and two short. These will plug into these bits here on the back side of the arm. That just plugs into there. So you don't have actual beam sabers, you just have these kind of beam tonfas there that it uses on the back side of the arm like that. So those are pretty cool. Then of course the beam cape, which is going to plug into the back here. So we just need to open this up, and then this should fit into here. Just like that, pretty simple enough, and does look pretty cool. I mean, a beam cape, not very often you see one of those, so that's pretty interesting. Then of course this section on the back here can be removed to make our massive beam saber, beam buster saber kind of thing here. You got this massive effect part there for that. These will fold forward and up and around there like so, like that. And the handle will extend out the back there like that, so you can use it like this. Then we have some more effect parts there for that though, if you really want to make it super extreme. Plug these little bits onto the side here as well, and again you could use it with this handle like that, just like that, this massive beast of a sword. Or we also have this extra handle that will plug onto here as well that you can also use. You push that back in and this will connect onto there like that, and this gives you a bigger handle that I guess you could use for like a two-handed grip on there, something a little bit easier. So that is pretty cool. And because that it's so massive and going to be probably hard to hold, with our included base here, you plug this part onto the top of that. So then when you're posing the kit, you can basically use this as a rest to hold up your sword if it's going to be like having weight issues or something. Well, you've got the kit pose standing holding the sword. If you're finding it falling down, you can use this just basically as a little resting place for that. Alternatively, just this standard piece of the base can be plugged onto here for just supporting your kit like normal, or you can have this take off of here and pointing forward to support the tri-bird, which is that bit here on the side of the shoulder. So you'll fold this around like that to its kind of drone form that just plugs into there. You can use that for posing your flying drone there, so that's pretty cool too. And then there's a couple more things to know about the main kit itself. On this bit of the shoulder you have this part that folds down as well, and as far as I can tell it's not really necessarily for anything, but I guess maybe when these are flying as drones, that's I guess maybe the beam cannon, beam emitter or something like that that folds down out of there. It can fold farther down if you wanted to, but otherwise there's not really much to do with that. The manual also points out the fact that you can fold the foot entirely up into there like that, but again I don't really know exactly why they're pointing that out in the manual, but it does point that out in the manual that you can do that. I guess if you wanted to make it look a little bit more so like the Age 3, I guess, then it looks a little bit more like that with like the folded up big massive legs like that. And then also this dark blue part around the wrist here, you'll notice when you're holding the beam rifle, this bottom part will be getting in the way of that. So what you can actually do is just take off the hand and take off this part, and then you just rotate that around to the side of the arm rather than to the back of the arm. And then you can hold the beam rifle in the hand without any issue there. So that's a pretty cool little trick that you can do with that. And again, that's something that a lot of the age kits can do by rotating that part on the front of the arm around. But alright guys, as we take a look at some different posing options here with everything that this kit has to offer, it's a really nice one, I gotta say. This is definitely one of those kits for those of you guys who like to have a ton of different weapon options and gimmicks and stuff with your kit, because you've got the beam rifle, the beam sabers, the massive beam sword, the drones that you can use as well, and just all the stuff that you can do with this kit. There's a lot of different things that you can do, and that's pretty cool. I like to have a lot of choices, so that's nice. And it's also a nice varying array of choices as well too. You've got a massive gun, you know, just for like medium and long range. Then you've got the close range weapons as well too, with the beam tonfas and then the massive beam sword and everything as well too. So you've got a good range of different weapon styles in here as well too. It's not just like only focused on ranged weapons or only focused on melee combat, that kind of thing. So all the weapons and accessories on this kit are great. As far as just the kit itself, the articulation overall, as you guys saw, is pretty good. And I didn't talk about seam lines because basically this kit doesn't really have much in the way of seam lines. A little bit kind of like on the side of the thigh, if you want to count that. On the white part of the forearm, there's a seam line there, and a little bit maybe on the top of the shoulder. Again, it's going to depends on how you want to work that. You could very easily just turn that into a panel line pretty simply. On the massive beam sword, you've got, and like the part on the that goes on the backpack that opens up for the beam cape. On those gray parts, you've got seam lines on those parts as well too, but I mean overall it's pretty minimal in the way of seam lines on this kit as well too. So nice articulation, nice details, a few too many stickers. I think I wish some of those stickers would have been actual yellow pieces, but overall very nice kits. Definitely highly recommend this kit to you guys if you're a fan of age kits, if you're a fan of build divers, like build fighters kind of style kits, or just you like a nice HG kit that gives you a lot of different options right out of the box, then this is definitely one that I think you're definitely going to feel like you're getting your money's worth with this kit, with everything that you can do with this one. So highly recommend it if you guys check it out. Again, you can check it out from USA Gundam Store, of course. The link is down below. And you can save 10% off of it as well using my coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10. So check that out in the video description. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support, whether it be liking, commenting, subscribing, however you guys choose to do that. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.